Good morning, trading world. It is July 13th, 2022, and this is my pre-market outlook and technical analysis for day trading the SPY. Today is the biggest data drop of the week, CPI. Has inflation peaked or are numbers still growing? We will find out today. Next, starting on tomorrow, we will have earnings beginning from the financial sector. Today, I expect some pre-market fireworks to be kicked off by the CPI report. The fireworks could spark a revisit to lows around the 373, 372 area and beyond if things get really crazy. I will be watching to see if we can hold the 373, 370 area as support. And then below that, can we hold a higher low above the 362 or show bullish divergence with a new low? The daily chart time frame is in control, followed by the hourly, the monthly, 30-minute, then 4-hour. With the daily chart in control, we could be setting up for a nice size drop. However, will the drop be enough to hamper the steady rise in the daily MACD right now? This question will be answered over the next couple of days. If the daily MACD stays on track, there could be a big up move between July and August. Oh, by the way, check out the yield curve. Noticed this yesterday doing trade, but the treasury website is a day behind as far as posting stuff. I expect this to be the hot topic today and for a while. Check out the 2-year versus the 10-year. The 2-year rate has now gone to 3.03, while the 10-year rate is 2.96. That is an inverted yield curve. With the longer end of the yield curve coming in, it will be hard to read anything positive into any bounce that happens over the next 2 months, no matter how big. This will also bring into play the question of why risk money in equities when I can go get a 3% return in treasuries. And the answer will make a lot of stable dividend-paying stocks start to sell off as soon as money managers begin to realize this. With all of that said, let's get into the key levels to watch for today. All right, here we are with the key levels of the day. Starting on the resistance side, we have Jack resistance at 382 to the 383 area. Then we have Queen resistance 384 to the 385 area. A lot of weight being held here again today. Look for maybe the final rejection off of this level before breaking through at some point. And then our King resistance level is 386 to the 390 area. On the support side, we have our Jack support at 381 to the 380 area. Queen support 379 to the 378 area. And then our King support 377 to the 373 area. The main thesis for today is bearish, closing below the 380.83 with a projected target low of between 381 and 373. Don't be surprised to see us push a little lower than that today. as things could hit a free fall moment. Our alternate thesis is bullish, closing above the 380.83 with a projected target high of between 384 and 390. The current major channel we are in is 379 up to 397. I do need to share the major channel below that 379 area is going to be 364. However, there's going to be a lot of support at that 372, 373 area. With that, let's get into the scenarios of the day. All right. Scenario number one has us with our expansive range day structure. Pre-market fireworks could vary the trajectory a great deal today. We could look to set a decision area high boundary around the jack or queen resistance before chopping back down and testing lows. Also, be on the lookout for a reversal at some point after touching those lows, and we really start to catch fire coming up either today or in a couple of days. Also, fireworks could have us starting from a much higher point. We could really take off sharply and come back and hover around that previous close. And kind of chop around with a slightly lesser dip and begin to kind of find out where we are. And that could set us up for lows even later on in the week, depending on how the daily chart reacts to the sharp move that we have today. Because again, the daily chart is going to be key. All right, that's our first scenario. Let's bring up the second. All right, with scenario number two, we're looking at our rounded reversal day type structure, and again, based off of the fireworks of the CPI, that could range, give us a wide range of where we could start this rounded reversal day from. We could get a continued push higher toward the jack or queen resistance area and find midday chop around either the queen or king resistance area before spending the same energy we used going up to come back down the second half of the day. Also, we could get continued momentum down off of the CPI report, and that could continue us through the closing down and have us see us reach our midday chop around either the queen or king support area, and then the second half of the day we use the same energy we spent coming down to go back up the second half of the day. Those are the scenarios for the rounded reversal day type structure. And a lot of this is going to vary off of this big moment at 8:30 with the CPI report. let's get to the last scenario. All right. Our last scenario is our trend day down structure. We could open gap down and start with a rise back toward the previous close. And let me correct this for a moment because there's a big vice versa, and I'm starting off with the vice versa because depending on where we start, this could very well be a trend day up as well, depending on how far up we get. So I did start with our vice versa, which is the trend day up, meaning we start gapped up from the previous close and then we fade back and find support on or before that previous close, and then start our trend up for the morning, which is right here, our golden window, and find our midday chop around either the queen or king resistance area. The vice versa part for this, which is actually written out, which is the main piece, which is written out, is our trend day down structure, which would look like this. We get a big free fall on the CPI, putting us below the previous close, and then after the open we begin to ascend or rally back toward that previous close, where we find resistance on or before that previous close, and then we get our golden window, our strong trend of the morning, which would be down, and then we find our midday chop somewhere between our queen and king support area, and with a continued head fake down the second half of the day, it's going to be interesting to see whether we can find or put together a rally if we have this big downtrend at the end of the day. So these are the scenarios, and we have a high alert for vice versa on the trend day today. All of this is going to be based on where we start from that CPI data. So I hope this helps. Please know and understand your risk, because this is a risky day where things could really get out of hand. And your first and primary job as a trader is to protect the capital that you have. That being said, as always, wishing you a positive trading day. Have a great one.